I guess just first one, of course, last game of the regular season, you've ticked off the box of getting the Shield, finishing atop the table, but now it's focusing on getting ready for the playoffs. What's kind of going through your mind in terms of that challenge heading on the road against a very hungry Pacific side?
Yeah, I think mostly in these situations, it's like you said, we've taken care of our business. Um, then it's always about preparing for what the next most important game is, right? And that you have to look at how you plan training. So since couple of weeks ago back in Valor after that, everything around training, how you measure the loads, how you do all of this is based on a game on October 27th. The tough thing is in between that, you've got two games. You want to make sure your processes are good. You want to make sure your performances are good. But like I've said in the past, nobody remembers in any of the years that Forge has won a championship what their last two or three results of the season have been. Um, and that's simply because the science of sport is tells us a lot of things, and to have your team in peak shape to play certain games, you have to plan that way and not get caught on between. When you look at tomorrow's game, we've got a hungry Pacific team. There's no doubt. That's been last week with Ottawa. It was a must win for them, and this is Pacific season, so we have to be prepared for that. We have to be prepared for a team with a lot of energy and giving everything they have. And then we've got some processes that we want to be able to work through. We got players that we want to get on the pitch, make sure that we give them a level of sharpness going into the final week. So the most important thing for us is the performance itself.
I guess just speaking of the players, you've mentioned plenty of times motivating them, it comes down to different ways, especially when at Forge. But one instinct players will always have is more minutes. And when you have five, six, seven guys battling for four spots up front, or ditto at the back or in midfield, you got guys suspended. Like, how important it will be just having those guys where maybe we'll be getting an opportunity because like a Hojiabapur is suspended, an Ampoma suspended, knowing that, hey, they want to play in the playoffs and want to prove that to you and to themselves.
Well, that's exactly what it is, and that's what you use these games for. It's to make sure players put in a performance themselves. Because when you get into the knockout matches, it's you go with the ones that are most prepared, most ready to not only play the best football, but to leave everything out on the pitch. And those are the little indicators you want to see it as a coach. You see that through training, you see that through what they've done in the past, and then also where they are right now and where that performance is for them. And sometimes that's through the training sessions, that's through the games, and you have to look at it a little bit differently. But of course, that's a situation we also have tomorrow. We've got some players who are out through suspension. We've got some other players who are maybe have a little bit of injuries that we've left behind. And this is also a tricky trip heading all the way out west with time zone differences, travel back. We know what toll that can play on players, and knowing that the important one is next week. So we've come up with a formula we think is right for this game, but most importantly, it's part of our bigger plan in preparing for October 27th.
Thanks, Alex. Next question will go over to Matt Cullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Thanks, Nico. And hi, Coach. Good to see you again. Looks like it's going to be a chilly weekend on Vancouver Island with a lot of rain. How do you prepare for that apart from a good coat?
Yeah, on our morning walk, we have a nice coffee spot close to our hotel that we always go to here, as we're already in on the island here in Vancouver Island. Getting in a little bit early. We were kind of reiterating to ourselves, we've never been here without sunshine. It's to be honest, it's one of those trips you look forward to. It's a little bit different landscape, and we enjoy being out here. But yeah, the weather's not doing us any favors. And what we hear, it will be quite gusty and quite a bit of rain. And that's something we got to look at. And those are the external conditions you always talk about in preparation for a match, because there's the tactical side that we'll always discuss. But what are those external conditions? Now we may have some weather-wise. We know the field at Starlight is the smallest in the league. That's something you also have to take into consideration for us. So there'll be certain things we'll be training on the pitch this afternoon, and hopefully under some trivial conditions, and hopefully that'll prepare us best for tomorrow's match.
Perfect. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Any other questions in the room? Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, it's just final one for me, Bobby. We've seen, guys like Borges, Campbell, Batty Banga not in the squad in recent games. Will we see them in this one, or is it something where it's getting them as ready as possible for the playoffs?
No, I mean it's so certain players important. Borges is with us, and he's fully back in with things. Terran Campbell is as well. So that's what I was saying. We've come up with a good formula to make sure that we have everyone engaged. Because the one thing I've learned in the 6 years, it's you have to be prepared for everything. Anything can happen during the week. Anything can happen in the game. So we've got those couple of guys here ready to go, and that way we've got a full team engaged and able to select from a pretty good group of players going into the final matches.
Actually, last one, I promise, if no one's gonna throw in a last one at you. But it's been a big talk this week of heading into this final weekend. Everything's happening at the same time. It's like you see across the world, just having this outcome where, for the team you're playing, playoffs can literally be decided. A goal here, a goal there. How important is it to just have moments like this for the fans, for those involved in the league, and maybe add that layer of professionalism to things?
Yeah, I think it's excellent. Last year when the playoff format was provided, the fifth different playoff format we've had in 5 years is last year. I thought it was great because it keeps things hot, it keeps things going, it keeps everyone on edge, and we've seen that now. I'm also glad we're in the position we are right now as a club. But I think, yeah, the excitement's there. You also want to be playing these games. Doesn't matter where we are. And making sure that another team is going after something. I think, that's going to keep things exciting. We're a team that probably will not be paying attention to what's going on everywhere else, but I'm sure everyone else will. And I think it's a great initiative from the league to look at it this way and having all the games at the same time, and it works out fantastic. Sports is entertainment. Whether you look at it on the pitch or, what you guys do in providing different storylines of what's going on. So, what better storyline than tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and everything in between to see what's going on. And, games will finish and it'll be very clear for everyone, even for ourselves. Once we finish that game, we'll know exactly who our opponent will be on the following Sunday. And that's when our work begins on preparation. So it begins right away, not later in the evening or waiting for another result. Everything will be clear, and I'm sure it'll be an exciting day all around the league.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. And